Take your partners by the hand.
If you're a lady or if you're a man.
Swing to the left and swing to the right. And we'll have a damn good time tonight.
Come on down to the dancing floor.
Whether you're rich or whether you're poor,
Whether you're young or whether you're old.
come to the tale that's gonna be told.
Come on, sons, listen to me.
Wise old words about the tree.
The fish they swim, the birds they fly.
But what's the point if we all die?
Step right up, come this way.
If you're black or if you're grey,
If you're proud or if you're wise.
I don't want to see you die tonight.
Time to lose when you can win. To make you laugh, to make you cry.
They'll take you where the angels fly. Do you pray for golden rule?
Wanna be a clown or you wanna be a fool?
Don't you turn the other way.
If you want to stay alive today.
Met a gypsy long ago.
I've a crown, I loved her so.
She was tender, she was fair.
Didn't really think we'd get her anywhere.
Because these wheels I want to use on this to make a Jeep are slightly bigger, these are off of a trailer. These are the Cordova wheels, the size meant for this. What I need to do, because the wheels will come round and these Cordova wheels only just clear this corner, I need to make the front of it longer. So I need to cut that across there, roughly in the middle, and put another inch in it and extend it forward. Right, I found some square tubing the same size, cut a couple of bits off, and I found a piece of round tubing to bang in there so that before I weld it so it's sleeved and stronger. I've cut this off as well, so you can see I've cut it off. I'm just going to bang this bit on the other bit ready to weld it. I've banged the front back on now, but as you can see, doing it this way, there's no way can you weld it up out of line. It's exactly how it was. I've welded it all back up now and put a couple of stay bars across there to make it as strong as it was to start with. Because I want to use these trailer wheels, okay, I've took the tyres off because I want to get the rust off them and give them a clean up with the paint. Okay, I happen to have some of these bits of metal that more or less fit in there that I'm going to fit both sides and clamp in between, but obviously I need to fill in that gap, so I've made up some spaces to go in between to level it out so I'm not clamping uneven. Okay, you can make these out of a 45 mil cutter you can get. I've used a 44. I've cut these out first that way, and then after I've cut them out, I've put a couple of screws and screwed them onto a piece of wood so it can tank cutter the other size out, the 45 mil, so that you can get them. And this is a Sprinter brake unit I'm using just as a pattern to drill the holes. Okay, I'm kind of putting that on there, then drilling the holes. After I drill one hole, I'm putting a little stainless steel 8mm piece of bar round rod in there, tapping it in there so that I can get the next hole, put another one in there because I made 4 of them, and then that gets all the holes dead in line, and I've got to do that to all of these. I'm doing it to the big ones so that they'll all have the same size holes, and then I can re-drill the outsides. I can re-drill these holes here in between so that they're going to go on there like that and drill on there. By doing that, I'll be able to get a shop rider hub in there and change it so they fit. Okay, that's about it really on that. I need to drill them out now. On this side where the brake is, instead of using bolts bolting through from the other side, I've cut off some threads off of some 8mm bolts, and I've threaded them into the brake drum and cut the length of them so that they've got nuts on, but the other end are threaded into the black brake drum that's on these Cordovas. Right, I've finished the wheels and bolted them on with the spacers in between and everything. I've cut the floor piece. This is 20 inches wide because that's the inside of the Jeep's going to be. This is 17 3/4 that it's worked out that I needed to do that. And the seat where I'm going to put the body on, I've made another piece of 12mm ply and screwed these bits on. This is also 20 inches. This is 20 inches wide as well. That's just about 2 foot because I'm not sure where I'm going to cut that yet. This is 18mm thick ply on the bottom because it's stronger, and I've glued some of this on where I'm going to screw the sides on there. These spacers, I had some of these made out, and these are 10mm thick, and these worked out, they only worked out £2.24 each, and I had 25 of them made. Now where the back of these trailer wheels, where the hub was too far on the inside, I've put one of these on the other side of the wheels on the back to push the wheel hub out a little bit so that I can clear the body to give me a bit more space when I do the body. Also I welded a couple of bits of metal on here so that I can put a running board to put the running board on there to take the weight of it. And obviously, as you can see, I've chain driven all the steering like the other ones, and I've put the 18-inch square piece of metal on the back where to lift the seat up. This is 2 3/8 high, and then I've made it parallel or horizontal with that. I've made the sides, both sides now, and I've cut the bits out so the wheel's clear, and I've started making the front. I'm just going to temporarily screw them on and then also put the back on and see how I get on from there, because I want to put a windscreen on this one as well. I'm just making the front now. I screwed some of the body on and I'm just making the front. Basically I'm kind of copying a bit this kind of little model Jeep here to just give me some kind of idea. What I've done on the front of here is, this is the inside the back of it. What I've done is I've cut halfway into that wood, and then I've turned it over and I've cut it from the other side with this cutter, which has kind of pushed it out, and it's left me a little bit of a rim, because what I'm going to do, I've got these big torches now that are not a lot of use to people. These big torches I got from the boot fair, I'm using them so they sit in there for the sunk in lights. Right, I've routed out, I've used an inch hole cutter. I slipped a bit with the router and made a bit of a mark in it. I've hole cut an inch cut along there, and then I've took these parts out here using a router, and I've worked it out so it's going to fit in there. What I've done here is I've got another piece of plywood, just thick 18mm ply. I'm going to kind of do that with it. So what I've done is I've cut these holes out with different cutters. This hole's a 44mm cutter to cut them out, and then I've used an ordinary spade cutter to cut that out of there. And then you have to put a little notch in the bottom of there because there's a little groove on there, and you need to put a notch in there to get it to sit flat. Whether you use the rubbers that go behind these things or not, it doesn't really matter. I think it will look better once it's painted up without them in there. So basically this all wants sanding up now and fixing on the front. And that's about it on that, I think. The lights I'm using, these are Silverline basic, the big old-fashioned kind of torches which no one seems to want anymore. You just unscrew this, take the contraption off of there and bung that. These push out. You can take the rubber off. There's a piece of rubber, you could leave it on or take it off, but it's in the way, so I've just took that off of there to put on there. These cutters that I've used, okay, the big one, there's a 4-inch I've used to go from the other side. That's a 4-inch, that's a 3 3/4, that's an 1 3/4, which 44mm, and this is an inch one which I've used for there, and this spade cutter's a 20mm. Yeah, these Silverline lights, they were £1 each from the boot fair, and the good thing about using those is that these 24-volt light fittings off of shop riders fit in there perfect. I'll just put a bit of gaffer tape around there, whatever, or push it in further. So really you're in business for your lights. I've rebaited these pieces of wood so that the 4mm perspex will slot in there, and on this one I'm going to put the windscreen. I'm going to put the windscreen on the outside, coming over the edges, and I'm going to fit it on like that. I've angled the bottom one. I've cut an angle on the bottom one so it's going to slightly lean backwards to give it a bit more character than just upright. I've cut a piece of wood and fitted it in here in front of this chiller, and also on this one I'm going to work it so that you've not got to take any of this off to get the body off. This piece is going to slot in afterwards so that once that's out, the whole body is going to tilt up and lift off from the back. I've glued up the windscreen and screwed it together and fitted it on. I've gone over the sides with it so that if the kids crash it and smash it, it'll be easier for me to repair. I've temporarily screwed the front on. I need to take the screen back off in a minute and then glue all this on because it's just been temporarily screwed to finish it. I'm going to fit this little 7-watt amp in the cab so that the kids can have a bit of sounds on, working off of either off of your phone or off of an iPod or whatever. Right, I've more or less finished it now and put all the running boards and everything on, apart from some car filler and a bit of rubbing down here, there and everywhere. I need to take it to pieces, then paint it. I've made up the mud guards using just bits of 12mm ply and bits of roughly inch or whatever aluminium angle, and just screwed them on. I've given it a coat of paint now and I'm just assembling it. Then I need to put it on the chassis, put the lights in and indicators and what have you, and check it out. I'm getting near the end of it now. I've made a couple of brackets, to go on the front to strengthen the front so that if the kids clout it. I've also put a little amplifier in there and a few imitation kind of dials. And I'm nearly ready to take it out for a run and test it, check it out. Also, these dials I've just put in here, they're not doing anything. I just picked them up for a couple of quid from the boot fair, so I've just tank cutted them in there. I've took it out for a spin and it's all hunky-dory, running beautiful. There's a couple more little jobs I need to do. I've just got a bit of this mesh off of one of my mates and I need to spray it black, then I'm going to fit it inside behind the grille. And also I need to make the steering lock less so the kids can't possibly swerve at full speed and try and roll it over. I've cut the piece of grille to size and screwed it in there from the other side after I've sprayed it black. When I was playing around fixing the lights and I had everything turned on, one of these I accidentally squeezed it together and it shorts out everything. So when you put your ignition key in and turn the power on the tiller, you'll have nothing. And where that shorted that out, this was an accident and I'm glad I learnt this, you'll lose everything. What there is a little 2 amp baby spade fuse inside the control box. And that's what had blown and that killed everything on it. It's just well worth knowing this. If you have a trouble and you turn on the ignition and you've got no lights on your dash, battery lights or everything, this is what it could be. It's well worth looking at or knowing.